then if you think about it, each and every business needs property. Even if it's IT consortium where there's a call center, at the end of the day, there's some part of that business that will have to operate from a building. Each and every business, even a logistics business that is on the road all the time, there's a central operating hub that operates from a building. So buildings are essentially land, they aren't making it anymore. There's only a finite amount of land in the universe. That is it. It's not a commodity where you can go and dig for more. That is it. What you see, that is it. That is the earth. You can't get any more. That is it. So if you're investing in a commodity that can't increase, that is it. You are in a great position. Just want to open up the floor. If you had to have 600,000, the bank had to say, I'm giving you 600,000, what would you do with it? You buy land. Okay, that's one proposition. Another proposition, that's what I would do, right there. This is I've loved this car since I was this high. You've got a 4 Series M Sport, 2-door coupe, automatic, 605,000, but I'm sure I can negotiate with them and get it down to 600,000, 18-inch rims, 0 to 100. I don't know how quick it is. I think that's one thing I could buy. But then, if I'm a bit wiser, a bit older, I think with my gray hairs, I think I'd consider E-Class. Mercedes-Benz E-Class. The avant-garde kit. It's beautiful. Just look at those lights. I think when I pull up to this with this car to any of your places and come visit, you will greet me with open hands, like, welcome to Thokozani. You can come into my house with a car like that. But then, okay, for 600,000, I have to choose one. Which car must I pick between these two? Which one did you pick? The Beamer. None. Really?
I don't have money for the insurance.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Beamer would depreciate a bit more. I think the Merc could be a good investment. I think it looks good. It will maintain itself over the stage of time. Because you know Mercs, they don't really get old. The older they get, the better they look. But what would be the cost of actually owning a car like this? Brand new cost 662,000. As soon as you buy it, you drive off the floor. It's already worth 600,000. So you've really lost 62,000, gone, just like that, in one day. Then in terms of your expenses, you're looking at an installment of 12,000. But hey, maybe you can negotiate with the dealer, get some residual, which you shouldn't do. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Don't get me started about residual. But if you look at this car as it is, you've got the installment there of 12,000. You've got fuel to consider. You've got insurance to consider, tax to consider, repairs to consider. The depreciation on this car, each and every month that you drive this car, it depreciates by 4,500. So you're basically going to the ATM, withdrawing 4,500 and saying, I don't want this money, throwing it out in the air. That's basically what you're doing month on month. This car is depreciating. You are paying to its depreciation. So you find that after 5 years of owning this car that cost you 662,000, your total cost to own this car is 1.2 million. And that's 1.2 million gone, absolutely gone. You'll never get it back. You've basically taken 1.2 million and you've just, I don't know about flashing. Flashing money isn't good. Might block the toilet. So I think burning it, you burned the money. That's exactly what you've done. 1.2 million gone. What else could you do for 600,000? Look at this. It's not as pretty as the Merc. 0 to 100, I think it's 0. I think that's how long it takes to go from 0 to 100. But look at it this way. It's space brick, low cost to maintain. It's a brand new development. Next 5 years, you've got no issues, no hassles whatsoever. Most of the things are covered by the warranty. This is a current actual listing, actual property that is available. It's in Mountain View in Pretoria West. We're looking here at a bond repayment of 5,400, levies approximately 1,000, rates and taxes approximately 300. Your rental income, when you look at the area and what other properties within that area are going for, what rental income they're charging, it's around 4,750. So you're looking all in all at a shortfall of almost 2,000. Now you might think, 2,000, I must pay 2,000 a month on top of that. But look at it this way. This 2,000 that you're paying a month, at the end of the year, is going to be 22,000. Look at it as an investment, because this property, unlike the car that depreciates, it appreciates. So after the first year, the property price would have increased by 9.31%. So we're looking at total income or total capital appreciation of this property of 56,000. So basically, you're spending 20,000 and getting back 56,000, almost 56,000. That's almost a 200% return on investment. Doesn't that sound good? So you must not think of it as the shortfall as money you'd be spending. Think of it as an investment that you're putting. Instead of going to the bank and putting 2,000 rand in a fixed deposit account, whatever nonsense account that they give you, where they're going to be giving you 2 or 3% interest, you can spend 2,000 a month on this property. And this is not just one, it's not every property. There's some properties where you can have almost a 0% shortfall. So if we look at this property now, which would be better, the Merc or this property? The property. Maybe we could paint it silver or something, just to get it to look introduce nice. You to another concept. They call it the gross rental yield. Basically, the gross rental yield is your total rental income for the year divided by the property price. So different countries have different rental yield. So do you want to guess what the rental yield or gross rental yield for South Africa is? Where, let's just put it into perspective. If your gross rental yield is 10%, basically your rental income for the year, it's giving you 50,000 and your property costs 500,000. So in 10 years' time, you would have covered the entire property's value. That's what that 10% really represents. So if you had to think now, what gross rental yield are we looking at for South Africa? 6%, 7%? The gross rental yield for South Africa is 3.86. That's what is classified under. So if you look at countries with the excellent rental yield, we've got Ecuador, the Bahamas, Costa Rica, all sitting around the 8s or the 9s. But then, if we go back to this property that we're looking at now, if you calculate the gross rental yield on this one, it's 10 points, actually outperforming almost most of the properties in the rest of the world. So you're actually in a privileged position here in South Africa where we can actually find properties like this and actually invest in.
Only 0.86% of South Africans on retirement receive monthly income of more than 12,500 rand. Now let's get a bit bleaker, huh? 0.86%. That means, what's it? 0.86 over 100? 99.14. 99.14% of people on retirement in 2012 got less than 12,500 rand per month to live off. You are not financially free. You are looking at your cents and turning them around, hoping that the other side can buy as much as the front side can. Right. Right, so being brainwashed must. We are conditioned to study, secure employment, proceed to work hard until retirement, invest in retirement annuities, retirement or provident funds, and hope to sufficiently provide for our old age. Now that is what's been advocated for the last how long? 100 years? 50 years? 20 years? Long time. This is what my parents and your parents and everyone has been telling us. This is what we've learned. But the reality is that 99.14% of people on retirement has take-home pay of less than 12,500 rand after retirement. And guess what? That money is also finite.
No, I was just going to say, maybe I'll mention it quickly. Here, whereby, as I'm talking about 100, 180, 150, that's the market I'm playing in, So the last 3 properties are bought for 90, or 4, in fact, the last 4 properties are bought for 90K, and they are giving me similar rentals to what you saw there, In fact, I've got one of my investors there who do be happy if I talk about the numbers of your flat. Okay? Okay. She bought a flat for, was it 160. For 160, it's a one-bedroom flat. She'll be getting a rental of 3,650 on it. Okay. What you saw there was how much? 400,000. You're gonna get similar rentals. So where would you buy? I'm not saying don't go and buy there. Please don't shoot me.
I got some money.